The Premonition of Madness by Emil Cioran. We generally find it hard to understand that some of us must go mad, but sliding into chaos, where moments of lucidity are like short flashes of lightning, is an inexorable fatality. Inspired pages of absolute lyricism, in which you are the prisoner of a total drunkenness of being, can only be written in a state of such exalted nervous tension that any return to equilibrium is an illusion. One cannot live normally after such efforts. The intimate springs of being can no longer sustain normal evolution, and inner barriers lose all reality. The premonition of madness appears only after such capital experiences. One loses one's sense of security and the normal sensation of the immediate and the concrete, as if one were soaring to heights and suffering from vertigo. A heavy load weighs on the brain, compressing it to an illusion, although the frightening organic reality from which our experiences spring can only be revealed through such sensations. An indefinable terror arises from this oppression, throwing you to the ground or blowing you up into the air. It is not just the suffocating fear of death that obsesses man. It is another terror, occurring rarely, but intensely, like flashes of lightning, like a sudden disturbance which forever eliminates the hope of future serenity. It is impossible to pinpoint and define this strange premonition of madness. The truly awful thing in madness is that we sense a total and irrevocable loss of life while we are still living. I continue to eat and drink, but I have lost whatever consciousness I bring to my biological functions. It is only an approximate death. In madness, one loses the specific individual traits which single one out in the universe, the personal perspective, and a certain orientation of consciousness. In death, one loses everything by a fall into nothingness. That is why the fear of death is persistent and essential, but actually less strange than the fear of madness, in which our semi-presence creates an anxiety more complex than the organic fear of the total nothingness of death. But wouldn't madness be an escape from the misery of life? This question has only a theoretical justification, since, practically speaking, for the anguished man, the problem appears in a different light, or rather, in a different shadow. The premonition of madness is complicated by the fear of lucidity in madness, the fear of the moments of return and reunion, when the intuition of disaster is so painful that it almost provokes a greater madness. There is no salvation through madness, because no man with a premonition of madness can overcome his fear of possible moments of lucidity. One would welcome chaos if one were not afraid of lights in it. The specific form of one's madness is determined by organic and temperamental conditions. Since the majority of madmen are depressive madness is inevitably more common than pleasant, gay, manic exaltation. Black melancholy is so frequent among madmen that almost all of them have suicidal tendencies, whereas for sane people, suicide appears a problematic solution. I would like to go mad on one condition, namely, that I would become a happy madman, lively and always in a good mood, without any troubles and obsessions, laughing senselessly from morning to night. Although I long for luminous ecstasies, I wouldn't ask for any, because I know they are followed by great depressions. I would like instead a shower of warm light to fall from me, transfiguring the entire world, an unecstatic burst of light preserving the calm of luminous eternity. Far from the concentrations of ecstasy, it would be all graceful lightness and smiling warmth. The entire world should float in this dream of light, in this transparent and unreal state of delight. Obstacles in matter, forms and limits would cease to exist. Then let me die of light in such a landscape.